Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, Suki Hontu. A very good morning to all of you for joining us this morning at 9:15 a.m. Wonderful. Many of you are logged in to be with us. And just to explain to those who are joining us for the very first time, we have this online Dharma events. We call this segment The Voices of Blooms. And what do we do in this segment? We are featuring talented songwriters or composers or singers of Buddhist songs. And we will introduce them and then we will let them tell us about themselves, about the group, and about the song. And more important is what are the inspiration regarding the song or the group they are in. So with this segment, our wish is to publicize Buddhist songs as widely as possible and also serve as an encouragement to many Buddhists out there. This morning, we have another member, Sister Lim Mei Jin. We shall call her MJ. Hi, MJ. Good
Hello.
morning. Good morning. How are you today? And thank you for
Fine.
joining us this morning. All right. Well, we'll go straight to the question so that you can tell more about yourself to us. I
Okay.
said that you are the guitarist for iGems. Perhaps you would like to tell us more about your music journey, all this while with iGems and even before. Over to you.
Sure, brother. So actually, I first started learning piano during primary school. Then I joined the guitar ensemble band during secondary school and immediately loved the sound of the guitar. So I decided to pick up formal lessons. And now I have achieved level 8 in classical guitar and currently pursuing electric guitar. Hopefully, someday I can learn the bass guitar too.
Ah, if that's the case, wow, you're really a talented person. So, if
Thank
that's
you.
the case, can you tell us more about your role in this iGems group? More about what are your involvement? Over to you.
Mm. I'm an instrumentalist in the band. So I play mainly the acoustic guitar for iJams during live performances. Sometimes I play the percussion instruments too, such as the cajon, shaker, and
Mm.
tambourine. So I've also helped to transcribe the chords of our songs into sheet music for ease of reference. I enjoy partnering with the other two iGEMS musicians, Brother Niwen and Brother Daniel Kwok. We work very well together and they have inspired and encouraged me to experiment with different genres and styles of playing iGEM
Mm.
songs. Okay. And that gave me the idea of starting a special segment on our social media called a Minute with iGEMS, which started in November last year. In this segment, we feature short acoustic covers of iGEM songs as well as songs from other Buddhist musicians with a slight twist in style and arrangement, which I enjoy very much. Since different people may have different tastes and preferences in music, so we also want to express this Dharma music in various ways so that we can reach to more people. We also include a personal reflection on each song to express how the Buddha's teachings, delivered through these songs, have helped and inspired us in our lives. So our covers are released every fortnight on our Facebook page and Instagram account. Do check it out and stream the full song on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, and other major streaming platforms. Yeah.
Thank you. Looks like you were a great musician. You learned to play instruments in. Wow, I wish I can follow your footsteps. And I also like what you mentioned about the Dharma inside the songs. That is good because this is what we are trying to tell to the Buddhist community to listen to the Buddhist songs. And definitely, we will also encourage the audiences to visit your Facebook and to find out where can they download or get those songs from YouTube, Spotify, etc., etc. And with that, I was thinking is that very good sharing. Thank you very much. Well, we will certainly Facebook, Instagram. So today, which song would you like to introduce to us? Over to you.
I would really like to share a song called I Feel at Home from our second album. So my favorite part of the song is the salutation to the Buddha at the beginning and the end of the song. I really like how Bro Daniel included the Pali verses as part of the lyrics of the song, which helps to bring out the devotion quality of the song. The music and lyrics are very beautifully written and arranged. So this song provides me the spiritual support and strength to overcome life's challenges. It reminds me to think wisely and calmly and inspire me to walk the path with faith and determination. So I hope the audience also find the same inspiration after listening to the song.
Sharing your inspiration to us. I agree with you. Some of these songs will have the Pali verses. It will make a difference in for us to follow your songs and to be inspired and to listen and be reminded of the Dharma teachings. And definitely, we will follow your footstep on your inspiration. Well done, Sister MJ. Thank you very much. Thank you for participating in our program, Voices of Blooms, where we interview all the talented, in your case, a musician.
Thank you, brother.
And with that, brothers and sisters, listen to the song. The message behind it. Thank you very much.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. How I feel at home again, right inside these temple grounds. I can see the Buddha's light shining brightly all around. Even though I'm alone on my own, I feel truly happy La la la. As I look to his face full of grace, I know I'll be free. How I know I'm home once more, right inside these temple doors. I can feel the Buddha's love. I've known this feeling long before. Yes, I know I must grow on my own and strive to be happy. La la la. I'll be strong, carry on all day long until I am free. Homage to him, the fully enlightened, the Buddha, our teacher, the Holy One. Homage to him, the fully enlightened, the Buddha, our teacher, the Holy One. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa.
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. Very good morning to all of you. How are you today? Happy to see many of you again on another day, a Sunday Facebook Live. It's great to see many of our friends out there log in at 9:15 a.m. Hope you have enjoyed the Dharma songs. We can see what the youth can do as influences to the Buddhist community or the societies. Do support them, for example, encouraging yourself and your family members to access to the songs via the various online platforms, for example, their Facebook or to the Spotify. For those who have missed it, remember to join us at 9:15 a.m. Welcome, brothers and sisters, to the Dharma, to this online Sunday Buddha Puja service. If you encounter problem with your poor audio and visual, it may be due to your poor Wi-Fi reception. So during this online Buddha Puja service, remember to have a calm mind even you are encountering problem. Welcome to SJBA 47 online Sunday Buddha Puja service. To those who are new, we are organizing this weekly online puja service in order to give an opportunity to Buddhist devotees near and far to continue with our Buddhist faith and practices, and an opportunity to listen to the Dharma during this COVID-19 period. So prepare a candle or oil lamp to offer at your altar. Wait for announcement to light the candle together. Brothers and sisters, let's prepare ourselves by sitting comfortably, relax our bodies, and compose our mind. Let go of thinking about the past and future. Be in the present moment. I shall hand over to our puja leader, Sister Ansil.
Thank you, Brother Chuan. Good morning, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. Namo Buddhaya. Let us begin with our Sunday Buddha Puja. May I invite Brother Jim to make the offerings to the Buddha. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, if you have prepared your offerings, you may make your offerings and light your candles or oil lamps. To the other devotees, let us place our palms together in Anjali and have a calm mind. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us pay homage to the Triple Gem. Buddhang pujemi, Dhammang pujemi, Sanghang pujemi. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, let us together take refuge in the Triple Gem and observe the 5 precepts. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang saranang gacchami, Dhammang saranang gacchami, Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami, Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Panatipata Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Adinadana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Kame Sumichachara Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Musavada Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Suramiraya Majja Pamadatthana Veramani Sikkhapadang Samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Imani pancha sikkhapadani samadhiyami. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho Vichacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu Anuttaro purisa dhammasarati satta deva manusanang Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko Ehipassiko Opanayiko Pachattang Veditabbo Vinyuhiti Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ujjupatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Samicipatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Yadidang Chattari Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pukkala Esa Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anuttarang Punyaketang Lokasati Vandami Chaitiyang Sabbang Sabbatani Supatititang Saririkadatu Mahabodhi Buddha Rupang Sakalam Sadam Yasamule Nisinova Sabbari Vijayang Aka Pato Sabbanyotang Satta Vande tang bodhipadapang Ime ete mahabodhi lokanatena pujita ahampite namasami bodhi raja namatute Ganasarapaditena dipena tamadansina Tilokadipang sambuddhang pujayami tamodudang Ganda sambahrayuttena duppenahang sugandhina Pujaye pujaniyang tang puja bhajana muttamang Vannagandha gunopetang etang kusuma santating Pujayami munindassa siripada saruruhe Pujemi buddhang kusumena nena punyena metena chahotu mukkang Puppang milayati yata idang me kayo tatayati vinassa bhavang Adivasettu no bante paniyang parikapitang anukampang upadaya patiganhatu muttamang Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame bante buripanya tathagata Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame dhamma sanditika akalika Kayena vacha chittena pamadena maya katang Acayang kamame sangha supatipanna anuttara Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu
Namo Buddhaya, brothers and sisters in the Dharma. This morning, we are very pleased to have Brother Tan Sang Chai once again to be with us in our Sunday Buddha Puja service. Brother Sang Chai will be giving a Dharma talk this morning with the title Living Deeply. Please allow me to introduce Brother Sang Chai. Brother Sang Chai began his formal Buddhist education as a student in the Buddhist Institute Sunday Dharma School, Brickfield, at the age of 12. Among his early teachers were the late Venerable K. Sri Dhammananda and Venerable Guna Ratana. He joined the Buddhist Missionary Society Youth Session at the BMV after completing his tertiary studies and served as the vice chairman and then chairman. He also served in the ESCO of the parent body, BMSM. He's active in sharing Dhamma at various Buddhist centers in Malaysia and Singapore, and is also a striving meditator. Brother Sang Chai was head of the Dharma subcommittee, was serving in the ESCO in Subang Jaya Buddhist Association, and was later appointed as his lay advisor. Currently, he is a director of Nalanda Buddhist Institute, the education arm of Nalanda Buddhist Societies. His talks center around daily practice of the Dharma and how it transforms one's life. He feels it's important to understand the essential teachings of the Buddha, as it gives Buddhists a strong foundation of knowledge which prevents them from wrong interpretation and practice of the Dhamma. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, if you have any questions pertaining to this talk, you may type your questions in the comment section. We shall read the questions after the Dhamma talk for an answer from Brother Sang Chai. But please note, we might not be able to have enough time to answer all your questions. Brothers and sisters in the Dhamma, we are now pleased to invite Brother Tan Sang Chai to share with us the Dhamma talk, the title, Living Deeply, Anchoring Ourselves Fully in Life, in order to live deeply. Over to you, Brother Sang Chai. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Brother Chim. Good morning, dear Dhamma brothers and sisters. Once again, I'm happy to be with you this wonderful Sunday morning in order to share some of my understanding of the Dhamma. This morning, I have given the sharing the title, Living Deeply. And I think it is important for us now at this time to be able to understand the Dhamma well enough for us to live our lives in a very grounded manner so that we are able to face the difficulties that are around us. It is not an easy time for many people right now. And there are many cases of people experiencing mental anxiety, also depression, and a lot of worry as well. So they are not able to live their lives in the way that they should. Therefore, I have been doing a lot of research, also reflecting on this topic. And today I would like to share some of what I have come to understand with Dhamma brothers and sisters. So the description is, how do we anchor ourselves fully in our lives? And this is a very important point, because many people in the world now are just living their lives at a very surface level. Surface level means they are not living it deeply. They are not experiencing the full measure of life. They go from one thing to another thing, but they are sometimes not very conscious, not aware. They are not there at the unfolding, at the experience of these things that happen in their lives. Next slide, please. So this is, I think, a very accurate description of what we do in our lives. So we search for satisfaction and meaning in many different ways. All of us, human beings, we want something solid and significant in our lives. We don't want to be just blown here, blown there by the different winds of our lives. We want to be able to achieve something. All of us, all of us. We want to be able to achieve things in our life so that we can experience satisfaction. And when people ask us, what have you achieved? Then we can tell them, I have found satisfaction and meaning in my life through doing these kind of things. We, without doubt, we seek to feel desired and wanted through our intimate relationships. And this is, although a lot of people don't talk about it, it is very, very true. That is why people get married. That's why people have children. That's why we mix with our friends and relatives. Yeah, we want the circle around us to make us feel as though we belong. Yeah, people like us, people want us. So that is the meaning of feeling wanted in our lives. So we also seek to feel fulfilled. We want to be admired by the things that we do. We want people to recognize us. Here is someone who has done this, who has done that. Of course, there are people who do things without looking for recognition. But deep down inside us, when we do things for others, we want to be appreciated. Yeah, we want people to know what it is that we have done. Yeah, it is normal for human beings to seek this kind of acknowledgement in the lives. And we also want to feel contented or gratified through all these things that we do. Yeah, all these pleasurable activities, pleasant things that we seek in our lives. And we keep doing these things again and again and again, without actually understanding what we are doing. Yeah, sometimes we just go. There are people who, because they want to feel contented or satisfied, they keep doing things like gambling. They keep doing things like going out drinking, and these kind of activities. I'm not making judgments on them, but they just do it again and again and again, so that they feel satisfied. They've done something, but they are not really aware that these things are just being repeated again and again, without them really being conscious of it. So that's a description, I think, of most people's lives. And in my life as well, because we seek, I also seek this kind of satisfaction, and contentment in my life. So that's why I'm able to describe these things to everyone. Next, please. So as we live our life, we begin to notice certain things about life. When we are young, we are never really conscious about the things that are happening in our lives. We just let things happen. And that is why some people say the days of childhood were very carefree. They were not aware of any responsibilities or things that they had to do, or the nature of life itself. Most people, when they are young and carefree, they never really consider the nature of life as they experience it. But eventually, somewhere along the line, we begin to be aware of the fact that everything we hold dear, everything that is important to us, doesn't stay the same. All these things change, and the things that we feel are very important to us, they become unreliable, because we think that here is something that I will base my happiness upon. And after a while, they find that this thing that they are chasing or putting so much value or importance on, it is not reliable. It is subject to change. It is subject to also going away. For example, we might have a partner, a husband or a wife, and then we tell them, never leave us. My life is only happy when you are around. So make sure, promise to me, you will never leave me. But that promise cannot really be kept all the time. I mean, a lot of people have very, very long marriages or partnerships. But we can never say that this partner will always be with us. As we have seen, some people they get sick, something happens to them, they will also pass away. And they cannot be with the spouse or the partner as they promised. So these things happen. And the things that we hold dear, such as our possessions, they sometimes also don't stay with us as we want. Because, it can be subject to fire or theft. Somebody steals it, or flood, or all kinds of natural disasters. We had a fire in our house some years ago, and it was quite, distressing to come home, because my daughter called me, and then when I came home, I saw that my roof of my house was on fire, and so these things can happen, and the fire destroyed quite a few of our belongings upstairs, of where we stayed, of the house we stayed. So you can leave for work early in the morning, but you never really know what happens, to your house, to your belongings, as you are away for that day. And we also experience that life doesn't go the way we expected. So we go from activity to activity. Like I said, automatically we wake up, we brush our teeth, we have breakfast, we get in the car, we drive to work, and sometimes the driving to work is automatic. We know this is the way to work, and after work we drive home, and this is also automatic. Sometimes we don't really think about the direction that we have to take to go home. It's instinctive. It's something that happens so easily in our lives. And we find that in life there are some situations that are very unpleasant and it's difficult for us to handle as well, such as this present pandemic. Nobody is enjoying it. Is anyone really enjoying the lockdown, not being able to do the things that we are so used to doing? I really don't think so. Most of the people that I know, my friends, my relatives, they are not happy with this lockdown. And moreover, the danger of the disease is always with us. We have to be very careful that we don't contract this disease that has killed people that I know. It's killed some people. And therefore, we are living with this danger all the time. But as I said, I've included in this picture here, this device that is really with us all the time, and that is our mobile or our handphone. For most people, this handphone is the last thing you see before you go to sleep. And for many people also, it's the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning. So therefore, it controls our life. We build our lives around this device. And people who have lost their handphone report that they feel a sense of loss. What do? I don't have my handphone with me. I can't call people. People cannot call me. And these things make life out of timing. The timing of life, it is out of sync. As most people will say. So we've come to base our lives a lot on technology, rather. And then you've seen all these videos or advertisements, that say when people want to talk to each other around the dinner table, they will send messages. Please pass the soya sauce. It's a joke. But it is a reality. It's a reality in life that when people sit down for dinner, if they bring their mobile phones, they will start getting connected. And it's something that is, I believe, affects our lives in that we are no longer grounded. We are no longer connected or anchored to the real experiences of our lives. And this way of living has consequences, has results on our lives. Next, please. Here is an excerpt from a website which I discovered. It's called The Greater Good Magazine. And some very interesting facts appear when I really read it. It says here that they did a research called the World Happiness Report, which involved them going to different countries to find out how happy were people some years back, how happy were people feeling as they lived their lives in the world. And the headline here, you can see, the World Happiness Report finds that people are feeling worse. Yeah, the general consensus is that people think that their lives at this moment is not as happy as what they experienced some years ago. And so it's important for us to understand this worldwide trend. And that is due to the way we are living our lives. You know, we have to relate it to the question, our lives the best way that we can. And in this report, it says, these are the findings. And this research analyzes how global happiness has changed over time based on data stretching back to 2005. It was published in 2018, some time back, but it is still very, very relevant to us. One trend is very clear, they said, negative feelings, such as worry, sadness, and anger have been rising around the world, up by 27%. Surprisingly, from 2010 to 2018, a span of 8 years, these negative feelings, the emotions that people feel from the countries involved in the research, worry, sadness, and anger have increased. And so this person, the expert, the economist, said, we are in an era of rising tensions and negative emotions, says this person, Jeffrey Sachs. These findings point to underlying challenges that need to be addressed. So all around the world, there seems to be this trend of the rise of unhappiness for a lot of people. But there are people who are still happy, mind you. There are countries that still maintain their happiness level. But this research was done among many of the developed countries. Next, please. And I'll share with you this a very important piece of research that was published in the Harvard Gazette. And it was done by experts from the Harvard Medical School. And it says here, a wandering mind is not a happy mind. These researchers, they are not Buddhists. I'm not saying this because, it is in line with the Buddha's teachings. These are findings from scientists who are experts in their field. And they came to the conclusion that when people's minds wander around, it is not anchored, it is not grounded. That means they are not really concentrating or focusing their minds on what they are doing. Most of them sit down and they let their minds wander around. And what happens is the main cause of the unhappiness in today's world is that people do not know how to focus their minds. And when they don't focus the mind, the emotion of unhappiness seems to be growing. And it says here, about 47% of waking hours spent thinking about what isn't going on. So the people that were surveyed in the developing world, more particularly in the US, by these Harvard medical researchers, say that 47% of our waking hours are spent daydreaming. We are not in control. We are not aware of what is happening. Personally, dear brothers and sisters, I think the number, the percentage is much higher. I think people allow their minds to wander. Yeah, and when do they do this? You know, sometimes when they are driving, yeah, the mind also wanders. Yeah, when they are sitting at their table, supposed to work, the mind wanders. Yeah, and when they are having a cup of coffee or having their dinner or their meals, the mind is running here and there. Yeah, so as we are eating our food, we don't really know the taste of the food. And sometimes what is the cause? What happens is we bite our tongue, we bite our lips, yeah, because we are not focusing on this activity of eating. So here are the scientific findings, you know, by these experts, researchers. Next, please. And here is something I'd like to share about what is happening for in the present day. Yeah, and it's been found by researchers here in Malaysia that the pandemic has resulted in a rise in social anxiety. That is one of the results of the pandemic. I mean, people have to keep away from the virus, so they lock and they are worried, and the sense of anxiety grows. Yeah, when they are, you know, locked away in their houses and they cannot do the things that they enjoy, they cannot mix with others. So it is a time actually, yeah, that makes us very, very uncomfortable. And because of that, anxiety, the level of anxiety, yeah, goes up. Next, please. So the general finding is that there is an agreement, yeah, and we look at what is happening in the world. If we want to be happy, yeah, that is, if we want to have lives, yeah, that are rewarding, etc., as we talk about satisfying, contentment, we find that there are two options available to us. One option is there are people who say we must change the world to suit our desires. And the other group says we cannot change the world. We must change ourselves to be in harmony with the nature of the world. It's good to have a little bit of both these kind of thinking, that we try to change what is outside us. But there are some people who think we can only be happy if the world suits us. If we can do in the world what we want to do. We don't want the world to affect us. We want to affect the world. And we can see that during the pandemic, there are people who don't want to be affected by the rules and the lockdowns and the, you know, the social distancing. They keep on wanting to do what they want. They are so used to doing. So they think that once they found the vaccine, it's okay. But it has been shown that we still need to take care. So there are all these people who say the world must suit us. We cannot suit the world. But there's another group who say we must learn how to be in harmony with the world. So it is the second option, though difficult, that Buddhism adopts, because the first option is simply not possible. To change the world totally to the way that we want is not possible. because there are other people out there who don't think the same as you. And we might think, I want the world to be in a certain way. Yeah, but they are not everyone out there shares your opinions, and they will clash with you. So we see in history, people have wanted to change the world, but the world changed back. The world fought them in how they wanted to implement their vision for the world. So experts in psychology and also neuroscience say we can learn how to access this state of well-being and happiness by training ourselves. And this is the whole message of the Buddha, how we can train ourselves to be in harmony with the world, to be more in harmony with ourselves. Next, please. So, what do we need to do? We need to wake up. This thing about living deeply involves us having to be aware of the things that we are doing. And it means that we have to be conscious. We cannot allow, as shown by the Harvard researchers, for our minds to be wandering 50% of the time, which means half our waking hours, we are not quite sure where our mind is. Yeah, in general, as an average, 50% of the time, they have found that people really don't know. Yeah, even when you ride on the LRT, you are looking out the window, your mind will wander and daydream. So the opposite of that is to wake up, to put our minds where things are happening to us. We have to be there with our minds, with our attention, focusing on what is happening, aware of what is happening. Next, please. So, what it means is we live fully when we are, if we are right where and when we are. I hope that is not too difficult to understand. Where we are is here. When we are is now. So here and now, we have to be present. We cannot be absent. If we are absent, that means we are daydreaming. We cannot allow half of our lives to be spent, wandering around. That is a real waste of our mental energy. It is a waste of our existence. And that is the reason why people are beginning to be more and more unhappy nowadays. Because they are not aware. And even when they are unhappy, they are not aware of the process of slowly becoming unhappy until it becomes major. It becomes so big. And then they suddenly realize, hey, why am I waking up so unhappy every day, and not being able to do the things that they are so used to doing. It comes as a shock to them. But the process is a very slow process. And that is the reason why to live fully, we have to be where, we have to be when we are, in the here and in the now. This is the main core of the Buddha's teachings. And that is why when people see the Buddha image, he seems to be grounded. He seems to be anchored. And he seems to be also at peace. Very, very peaceful. The Prime Minister of Great Britain during the war years, war meaning Second World War, was Sir Winston Churchill. He had a small image of the Buddha on his work desk. So when the war that he was involved in was not going well, and he was very anxious, full of anxiety and worry, so much tension and stress, he said he would look at the image of the Buddha, yeah, and it would calm him down. Yeah, and then he would think about how, yeah, he can stop others from invading his country and how he can end the war as quickly as possible, yeah, so that others may not suffer, yeah, this terrible war. So this is an important thing. Where you are, be there. When you are, also be there. Be in the here and now. Next, please. This is a widely respected and revered monk, Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh. Yeah, and he is trained when he was young. He was trained in the Zen tradition. He said, and I will share this quote with you. Yeah, life can be found only in the present moment. The past is gone. The future is not yet here. And if we do not go back to ourselves in the present moment, we cannot be in touch with life. So Venerable Master makes this very, very important and relevant statement. The way that he advocates, he teaches people how to live fully, yeah, is to be in the present moment. Yeah. Don't be in the past. You can think about the past if you are planning something. Don't be in the future, yeah, because the future is not yet here. So most of the time, try to anchor yourself in the present moment. That means, yeah, be in the here and now. Whatever you are doing, don't let your mind wander, because it's shown it will make you unhappy. Be in the here and now. Know what you are doing. And this awareness will make you more awake. Next, please. So the magazine called Inc., yeah, it means incorporated. It's a very well-known business magazine who happened to interview a Zen Buddhist monk. And he said, it says here, it describes Venerable Master. He says, the monk who challenged the way we think. Yeah. So Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh is teaching them to think in a way that they are not used to. Yeah. And the article goes like this. Venerable Han, he calls Venerable Master Venerable Han, believes that to solve the world's problems as well as our own, we must master this art of deep listening. So this is another aspect of living deeply. Do we listen to other people? Most of the time, we want other people to listen to us. We are not interested in other people's opinions and what they are thinking. We want others to listen to us, but not spend time listening to others. He feels, Venerable Master tells us that this is a big problem because we are not able to connect with others if we don't listen to them well. This practice involves remaining present with the person or people you are in conversation with, and to listen with ultimate compassion, allowing them to empty their heart. So I must say, I have been in discussions and conversations where the few people attending that conversation or discussion or even the meeting, they are talking at the same time. Everyone wants to talk, but nobody wants to listen. So when that happens, the other people feel unhappy. Yeah, you want me to listen to you, but you don't want to listen to me. So this deep listening, whether to our friends, to our family, to the people that we work with, to the people that we share the community with, we have to listen to them. So when they come and talk to us, be in the present and practice this deep listening, just as you expect them to practice deep listening from what you are going to say. So when there is no deep listening, as as you watch what happens, especially among politicians, they are not interested in listening to others. They want others to listen to them. There is no deep listening. So therefore, right, people don't feel that their opinions matter. And it says further, you should not offer advice or your perception of their pain. Yeah, he says, just listen. When you listen in order to understand fully, it lessens the suffering of others. So this ability to listen deeply, I believe, and this is the reason why I'm bringing it up, I believe will really make association, our relationships better. So sometimes it's important to just listen. You know, this ability to listen sometimes extends to outside of our religion or our group that we are associated with. I heard this story once of the late Mother Teresa. You know Mother Teresa? Yeah, she's very well known for the social work that she did, but she's passed away. Yeah, in India, where she helped the poor and the really destitute people. Yeah, and she was a nun. And so people asked her, once, when you pray to God, what do you say to God? And she said, I don't say anything. I just listen. And then, the person who asked the question, then what does the God say? And then she says, God doesn't say anything either. He just listens too. So that is the essence of a good relationship. Yeah, to be able to listen to each other deeply well. Yeah. So with our colleagues, with our bosses, even with our subordinates, people who work for us, practice this deep listening. Next, please. So, now, be in the now makes our lives a much richer experience. It involves the practice of mindfulness. This activity of being aware is called mindfulness. And I know, yes, mindfulness has become such a big word. Everybody practices mindfulness, this, mindfulness, that. In the West, mindfulness has become a billion-dollar industry. Yeah, the hardware and software of mindfulness in the West cost the people more than $1 billion. 2 years ago. Last year, I'm not quite sure. It probably has increased. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness gives us grounding. And we are anchored, we are connected in a very pleasant way to what is happening in our lives as it happens. We are not thinking of the past, we are thinking of the present. Now, many people are not used to doing that, so they have to learn how to be mindful. We live life fully if we do that, and we see that life is indeed precious. A lot of the time we don't understand life that we live because we are not there in our life. We are imagining things. But when we are there, we begin to see the real nature of life and we become less shallow. We don't just touch. We become deeply connected to the people and the experiences of our life. Mindfulness, when we practice it, also allows us to remain calm and alert at the same time. We are calm, but we know what is happening. So many people, when they walk unmindfully on the road, they will trip, and sometimes they will hurt themselves. So it's a good practice for the older citizens. You know, the older we become, the more mindful we should be of our bodily movements, especially the walking, because as you get older, you are not so steady, you can fall. So therefore, bringing the mindfulness helps us a lot in our life. So because we know what's happening one moment to the next with the mindfulness, we don't get shocked or frustrated so easily. That is very important. When we are not mindful, somebody tells us something, we get a shock. But when we are mindful, we are open to it. We need to be there. And so whatever is being told to us, we are ready for it. Then, very importantly, mindfulness connects us to our inner selves. This is the real meaning, this is the real benefit of living deeply. It connects us to our own self because we are there. We are not daydreaming or letting our mind wander. We are in touch. We know how we are thinking. We know how we are feeling. So there comes a deeper appreciation and understanding of our own self. And doing that, we see ourselves and the world through kinder and more compassionate eyes. That is the result of this mindfulness. When we are there, when we know what is happening, we become kinder to ourselves. Not just rushing here and there, and then we become more frustrated with ourselves. This is the opposite. Next, please. And here is my ex-Sunday school principal. Venerable H. Gunaratana was based in Kuala Lumpur at the Mahavihara for quite a number of years before he was asked to go to the US, to America, to spread the Buddha's teachings. And since then, he has become a real respected meditation teacher. And he wrote this book, Mindfulness in Plain English. It's a very, very good book. So, Bhante Gunaratana says, I will read this. Mindfulness, if you are aware, gives you time. You don't react, as I said. You don't instinctively react to what is happening. You are there. So you are in control. Time, he says, gives you choices. Choices skillfully made lead to freedom. You don't have to be swept away by your feeling. You can respond with wisdom and kindness rather than habit and reactivity. So isn't that what happens to us, dear friends? We get a message and then we react. Oh, like that now. We are not there to really understand the nature of what people tell us. And sometimes when people say things to us, we react negatively. I don't like this. Why does he say it? Why do you say such things to me? I don't like it. And so we hit back. We react habitually to what people say. With mindfulness, we create the space around us. I know what you are saying. So that time allows us to think about how we want to react. We are not just instinctive like animals. Animals are very instinctive. You do this, they do that. We are also like that if we are not in the here and now. So mindfulness allows us to really think about what's happening, so that we can give the right response to that situation. Next, please. So let us bring mindfulness into our lives. We can practice mindful eating. We can practice mindful walking, mindful working, mindful talking. Yeah, as I mentioned, yeah, listen to people, and at the same time, when you talk, when you give your response to people, do it mindfully as well. And then we need to anchor ourselves to the here and now formally, yeah, with more skill by doing mindful sitting meditation. I find that doing meditation, this mindful meditation in the morning, helps me start my day in a very, very good way. Yeah, ever since my retirement, yeah, I retired about 2 years ago. I have started to practice. When I first started, I'm not a morning person, right? Meaning to say, I don't get up, fresh and singing. My wife does that. She wakes up and then she feels very awake. I'm more of a nighttime person. But ever since I practice mindful sitting meditation, I find that it is very, very good. And I wake up more alert and looking forward to the meditation, yeah, that I hope to do. And most days, yeah, I meditate for about 45 minutes. And if I can, I make that longer, yeah, to slightly longer than an hour, because this is one of the privileges of retirement. Yeah, your time is more under your control. So I find that it leads back into the day, the mindful sitting meditation. You can start off with about 15 minutes. You don't have to do too long. 10 minutes, also very good. And then see how it leads you into the day. And you can find that you enjoy the process of mindfulness much more. When we eat them, we gobble down our food a lot. Yeah, we look at this, we look at that. We are not mindful of the taste even. Mindfulness lets you taste the food that you are eating. So when you put something in your mouth, be mindful of it. So when you do work, also be mindful of what you are doing. There is one thing you have to be very careful of, and that is driving. When you drive, you need to concentrate. You can have a little bit of mindfulness, but more concentration. That is what is in front of you. So don't be too mindful, because then you can be, kind of not really seeing, what is, because you are watching. You are not really noticing the things that are happening. But for other activities, it's really good. And when you start incorporating mindfulness in your life, you will never be bored, because there's always something to do. My friend, the mother, when she was alive, she has passed, a really nice lady. And she learned, and she had to go for checkups and see the doctor quite a lot of the time. She had some health problems. And when she learned mindfulness, she said, even when they make me wait at the hospital for 1 hour, 2 hours, I'm not bored, because I will sit down and I will be mindful of myself, of my breathing, of my body postures, of what I am thinking. Boredom has been thrown out the window. There's no more boredom, because she knew what to do all the time. And that is mindful living. Next, please. And this is the most wonderful, grounded picture I could find. It is a picture of course, the Buddha's feet. And if you feel that you are anxious, if you feel even frustrated or angry, stand up and feel your feet. Feel the pressure, the sensations of your soles, the soles of your feet. Be aware of the little tiny sensations that you get. It is one alternative to breathing, if you are angry or frustrated. And then you will become grounded. Try that the next time. Yeah, if you feel that things are not going your way, just stand up. And then feel your feet. Feel the standing posture. Feel what's happening right down there as your feet touch the ground. And you then will be grounded. Do that for a few minutes. Yeah, and see what happens to your mind. Don't focus on the problem at hand. Focus on the grounding. And you will come nearer and nearer to the Buddha's grounding. Next, please. Allow me to tell you this story of this Australian journalist. Her name is Shannon Harvey. And the story can be seen in the video that she produced, The Year of Living Mindfully. If you want to see this video, you have to pay for it. She actually makes money from the videos she produces, because that is her work. But she was transformed through mindfulness. There is a TED Talk, TED Talks, they share their knowledge at this address. So can you take down this, and if you are free, go and listen to her story. At the age of, she was struck down with an autoimmune disease. She was working so hard and so stressed that her body started to attack her own self. And she went to doctor after doctor, and they all said the same thing. Your body is shutting down. You cannot work as you used to work. And she had found her dream job. And even, after a few months of working there, she began to suffer from this autoimmune disease. And the doctor said, your life will never be the same. And she wanted to have children. You will never, ever have children, they told her, because of what's happening in your body. So she went out, being a journalist, she went out and looked for the ways that she could cure herself. And that was through mindfulness. The story is very long, but in this video, if you think you want to pay for it, she goes for a retreat with my Australian Vipassana teacher. That is a teacher by the name of Patrick Kearney. Yeah, I have practiced under him. He's also a wonderful teacher. And he appears in this video. But if you want to listen to the TED Talk, that's free in YouTube or wherever, where she really relates how she overcame her problem. And a few years down the line, she had children due to the practice of mindfulness. How it transformed her life, how it changed her life, gave her an about turn of her health, and opened up more and more possibilities in her life, right? So please go and watch the video that is free, TED Talk. Yeah. As I said, the other video you need to pay, but I tell you it is worth it. Yeah, I'm not sure how much she charges for it. Next, please. So the important thing now, as we get more focused, as we practice mindfulness, is also right view. If we practice the mindfulness that we have talked about, we can see that it helps us in a lot of different ways. But we need to practice mindfulness as a Buddhist with right view. Because right view, the first factor of the Noble Eightfold Path, points us towards the overcoming of suffering. That is the deep essence of this practice. It is ultimately to help us overcome our mental anxiety, our physical suffering. That's what it's for. Yeah, as a Buddhist. I mean, these people in the West, the journalists in Australia I told you about, it benefited them, but they are not doing it as Buddhists. So the benefits, although wonderful, only stops at a certain level. They are not really doing it as Buddhist practice. And it becomes Buddhist practice with right view. The understanding, what is right view? The understanding of the Four Noble Truths. So if you practice being in the here and the now, like Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh, like Venerable Gunaratana, with right view, we are walking the Noble Eightfold Path. That's the important difference. Next, please. Here is a picture I like to use. This monk, Venerable Matthew Ricard, something has gone wrong with the slide. He is known as the happiest man in the world. Truthfully, if you go to Google and you type the happiest man in the world, he will appear. Because scientifically, all these scientists and researchers, they stuck all kinds of wire and electrodes into him. Yeah, and they studied his mind, and they found he was really the happiest man in the world. Compared to all those hundreds and thousands of people they researched, he was easily happier than any one of them. So they said, okay, we come to this conclusion. Venerable Matthew Ricard, he's a French monk, is the happiest man in the world. Before he became a monk, he was one of the world's leading molecular biologists. And then he said, I renounce that, I become a monk. And he is well known, and then he came back to the West. He's well known for teaching people how to be happy. He said, anyone can be the happiest man or woman in the world if you look for happiness in the right place. Which means to say, where is happiness? Happiness, no great surprise, is in your mind. It's not in your body, it's in your mind. So therefore, the Buddhist system of training, this practice of mindfulness, is to transform our mind. And so if we do the same practice, we might end up being the happiest man or woman in the world. It's a long story. I won't go into that now. Yeah, maybe in another day. But this is actually proven by the American Western scientists, yeah, that this monk is the happiest man in the world. Next, please. So, mindfulness, without doubt, if we see what in our mind from moment to moment, it leads to wisdom. We will be able to benefit from it through little glimpses of the nature of reality. And this is what the Buddha's teachings is all about. It is about seeing reality. And mindfulness, the sharpness, the training of the mind to be sharp, will lead us to wisdom, yeah, with right view and understanding of the Four Noble Truths. Next, please. And it will disarm our ego. The problems that we are facing, the anxieties and the sadness, is because we fuel the ego. This idea that there is an I is being fueled by us. So being there means we are able to discern, we are able to see, am I inflating, or am I developing my ego more, or am I seeing things as they really are? This is the nature of mindfulness with right view. So the nature of this practice means that we can see what is really there. And we can see that our ego is not real. Now, this is something that needs further clarification. But take it from me now, sharing this understanding. If we practice mindfulness with right view, we will see that our ego gets less and less and less. And we are not so crazy about all these things of the outside world. And the happiness that appears inside will become a lot more significant, a lot more powerful inside us. Next, please. And I would like to end with this quote from the famous forest monk who has also passed away, the Venerable Ajahn Chah. He said, with mindfulness, you can see the real owner of things, the things that we think we own. Do you think that this is your world and your body? World means what exists in our mind. Body means what is our physical form. It is the world's world. It is the body's body. It doesn't really listen to us. If you tell it, don't get old, does the body listen to you? So we only rent the house, this house. Our existence is one of a rental agreement. We are here as tenants. After a while, we have to vacate the premises and go and find other premises. That is the nature of our life. So with mindfulness, we are able to see it more clearly. We are able to see it in a way that we can understand. This understanding is called insight. It is small glimpses of reality. And eventually, it will lead to real wisdom, significant wisdom. We only rent this house. Why not find out who really owns it? It's words of wisdom from the late Venerable Ajahn Chah. Next, please. So the time is now. Thank you for listening to my sharing. I hope you have gained something to think about. Take it with you during the course of the week and reflect upon it. And form some ideas and some thoughts on it. At the same time, try to bring mindfulness more and more into your life. As you are sitting here, be mindful. What is the nature of your sitting? Your body is sitting. How do you feel it sitting? Be aware of your mental states. Are you angry? Are you happy? Are you feeling satisfied? Are you feeling contented? What are the mental states that arise in you? And when the time comes, I really hope when the pandemic is over and SJBA organizes a mindfulness retreat, please do come and join us so that you can make living your life more deep through the skillful application of mindfulness in our daily lives. Thank you very much for your kind attention, dear Dhamma brothers and sisters.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Brother Sangchai, for the very profound, educational, and insightful Dhamma talk this morning. I think giving a lot of good idea how to live a happy life, a happier life through mindful living. We shall now proceed with the Q&A session, brothers and sisters in the Dhamma. If you have any questions, you may type your questions in the comments box. Is there any questions? Brother Sangchai, will practicing mindfulness regularly make a person disconnected with his family and friends? Will it affect the person's character?
Well, from what I've seen of my own practice, as well as those friends, Dhamma friends who are around me, I think the more you practice this, there is bound to be some change in the character. Yeah, because there is an internal transformation. It won't, don't worry, it will not happen suddenly. It will be a gradual process. And you will get used to having mindfulness in your life, being guiding you most of the time. It's difficult to be mindful all the time. You can be as mindful as you can. Yeah, as I said, when you eat, be mindful when you eat. When you walk, be mindful when you walk. When you talk to others, practice mindful talking or mindful deep listening. What I'm saying is this mindfulness allows us to always be present in our life. Don't be like the 50% of people who are like the researchers show that people are daydreaming 50% of the time. Yeah, but as I said, I think the percentage is more than that. Yeah, they were quite limited in how they did their research. So the difference will be, I think, you will be more present in your life. So you will be more mindful, and that is the difference. Yeah. You won't have a total character change. Personality become totally different. Don't worry. Your personality is still very strong. But what happens is you will become more aware, more knowing. You will know what is happening around you. Because as I said, mindfulness gives you space. Yeah, and Bhante Gunaratana says the space gives you time. And the time is that you can think, you are aware, you can make decisions, yeah, about what you want to do. So as that goes along, there comes a peace in your heart. You are not blown by the winds of the world. Yeah, you become more steady in the way that you see and understand life. So that steadiness, that calmness, I think will be noticed by your family and your friends. And some of them might not be comfortable with this because they will be so used to you, doing the things that you have done before. But because you are more mindful and you become more calm and peaceful, they will also notice. And some people, I think most of your friends, if they are real friends, they will like it. Yeah, because you become more attentive to them. You listen to them more. You pay more attention to your family and your friends. I'm sure they will like it. But there will be some who will say, hey, I think you have changed. You become very weird. Yeah, I don't like to mix with you anymore. Because they like that part of you who is not mindful. So you have to make your decisions. You want to mix with friends who appreciate your mindfulness and your deliberateness, yeah, and your steadiness and your calmness of mind, or the friends who don't like that because they are not comfortable with your calm character. Why so calm? Why can't you do those things that you used to do before? And if they don't like it, they will stop mixing with you. Maybe it's a good thing also. That you will be left with those people who really appreciate your deep listening. Everybody will appreciate the deep listening and the mindful talking, that you will be doing when you practice more mindfulness, when you live more deeply in life. Now, my opinion. Yeah, I'm sure other people will have other things to say about this. Okay, any other questions?
Okay, thank you, Brother Sangchai, for the very wonderful answer. The next question from Sister Judy. She say great talk, practice and doable. If one wants to change ourselves to be a happier person and to have harmony with people around us. One question, would it be more challenging for working people in a corporate world where time is of essence and a competitive world out there? How would one practice mindfulness?
Oh, well, interesting. You won't be surprised, as I said, that mindfulness has become very popular in the West. You'll be surprised at how many of these great corporate personalities practice mindfulness. And the thing is, because they are Western people, they don't go around telling you, hey, I'm practicing this mindfulness, which is essentially a Buddhist practice. There are many personalities, such as even, Oprah Winfrey. She has, I think, become a disciple of Venerable Thich Nhat Hanh. She interviewed him once, and I think she was very, very affected by what the Venerable Master had to say about living mindfully, living deeply in life. So there are many of them who are doing this. So in order to practice mindfulness, as I said, incorporate that as much as possible in your daily activities. When you walk, try to walk mindfully. Walk to one place, point A to point B, even if it is quite close, mindfully. So what do you do when you walk? So left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. Yeah, the pushing, the stepping, the pushing, the stepping. So you incorporate this wherever you can. And it's good to have mindful eating, at least twice a week. I know sometimes it's very difficult to eat, mindfully, but you can arrange to eat alone, and then see how your mouth accepts the food, and so you are at peace with your food that you are eating, and you can also watch the mind's reaction to the food, how you get feelings. This is pleasant, I like it. Or this is unpleasant, I don't like it. So you can see that the states of the mind changes with the food that you eat. If you eat something that is perhaps, savory, I like it. Then you can see your mind takes a lift. But if you see something, you taste something that is too spicy or too bitter, especially bitter, you can see your mind takes a different approach. I don't like it. So what is the state of the mind? What is that emotion when you don't like it? So you get used to it. So all these emotions, if we are aware of it, we become used to their existence. How they come into existence, how they maintain their existence, and how they disappear. It's always like that. So we get used to the process of coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. And then even when our happiness comes and goes, we are not worried about it. And if we really practice mindfulness, when our happiness comes and goes, when our unhappiness comes and goes, what is left is the equanimity, the neutral feeling. And that is a better sensation than enjoyment and not enjoyment. Pleasant and unpleasant. In between, there is what is called the equanimous balance. That is a more satisfying state of mind than pleasant and unpleasant. It is balance, it is peace, it is harmony, in our minds. We don't have to go far to search for it. It's already there. What it needs is practice. Practice more and more. So as I've said, when you find quiet time, even if you work in an office, try to find during lunchtime 10 minutes, to slowly sit and be aware of your breathing. How do you do it? When you go and see a doctor, the doctor said breathe in, you breathe in. Doctor said breathe out, you breathe out. So you become aware of your breathing in, breathing out. Your body is aware of it, so your mind will will catch on to this sensation or the action of breathing. Yeah, so breathe in, this is how I feel. Breathe out, this is how I feel. Yeah, it's not so much about breathing through your nostrils. It's just when the doctor asks you to breathe, you breathe. So be aware of that action. So you just say breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. So if you want, it's a chest movement. But if you want, you can be aware of the abdomen movement, rising, falling, rising, falling. During your lunchtime, if you can find 10 minutes, have your lunch, then come back, then relax. See that you do it for 10 minutes. It's a wonderful way for the midday to happen. Like I said, I like mornings, which I surprise myself because I never liked to wake up early when I was working. I was trying to always sleep as much as possible and then get up and go to work before the clocking in starts, which is not very good. I will tell you, it's not very good. Your boss won't like it. Yeah, the boss likes it when you are there 10 minutes before time so that you can prepare work. But if you can try to spend 10 minutes of your day, early morning, you wake up even before you brush your teeth, go into mindfulness for at least 10 minutes. You're rising, falling, you're breathing in, breathing out, just 10 minutes, and then slowly extend as much as possible. It's a good way to end the day. And at night, when everybody has gone to bed, gone to sleep, it's very quiet. Spend 10 minutes also to wind down the day mindfully. But in between, when you talk to people or when you listen to people, listen deeply to them. And when you talk to them in a very mindful way. Use mindful words. Don't get angry, and say nasty things to people. That is a sign that you are not mindful. If you are mindful, you won't say nasty things. You won't use harsh words with people. So you get along with people better. People will like you. This person, he doesn't scold me, like others. So people prefer to talk to you because you are reasonable. You listen well and then you talk well to others. Even I believe that some of the big corporate figures like Steve Jobs, when he was alive, he was also practicing mindfulness. And you cannot get more competitive than Steve Jobs. He was a very competitive person. He built his company to become the most valuable company in the world. But he didn't really announce it. He practiced mindfulness in his own time, right? So try to build it in. As I say, walking, eating, sitting quietly, try to build it in to your daily lives. You will see a change. And I go back to the Australian journalist, Shannon Harvey. If you listen to her, you can see that her life has taken a remarkable, really U-turn. She was heading down to the depths of depression. When she started this mindfulness, and then she turned her life the other way around, and very, very happy nowadays. So she goes around talking about mindfulness to young people, to corporate figures, to people who can make a difference. Thank you. I hope that's a good answer.
Thank you, Brother Sang Chai. Certainly a good answer. I hope Sister Judy is happy with the answer. We've got so many ideas on how to do this mindfulness in the corporate world. Due to time constraint, I think we have just one more question, last question from Sister Jade. I believe in deep listening too.
Yes.
Talk less and listen more. But what if everyone is listening and nobody is talking? Are we all at peace then?
Yeah. I think that's wonderful. If everybody keep quiet, yeah, we are at peace. Nobody will scold anyone else, you know. There will be a kind of an understanding, right? But I think eventually somebody has to say something. Human beings cannot remain quiet for too long, right? Unless we are in retreat. We are in a meditation retreat, and then we see we are purposely keeping quiet, because if you don't keep quiet, your teacher will notice it. Yeah, all the other meditators will also notice it. But deep listening, Sister Jade, yeah, I'm happy you agree, is very important. I will tell you, sometimes I don't do enough of it, and then I catch myself. You are not listening to the other person. Yeah, and that happens when, before the other person stops talking, still got something to say, you already start your reply. You are talking while the other person is still talking, hasn't finished yet, and you start talking already. It happens a lot. I notice it, yeah, because when I started this practice, I noticed that many people do this. They start talking before the other person finishes. So there is a kind of an uneasy tension in the air, because, hey, I haven't finished. What are you saying? But many people, they are tolerant. They put up with it. But it is good to really listen to people. You know, when people who have met the Dalai Lama, you know, the Tibetan, the head of Tibetan Buddhism, they come away saying, when I talk to the Dalai Lama, I feel that he has all the time in the world for me. He doesn't think about anything else. He just listens to me. So everyone, a lot of people who have been in the presence of His Holiness, they say the same thing. The Dalai Lama is 100% focused on what you have to say. So he practices deep listening. Yeah, many people are so pleased by this fact that such an important world figure, yeah, he is the face of Buddhism in the West. When you think of Buddhism, you think of the Dalai Lama. When you talk to him, even as a stranger, he has all the time to listen to you. And they feel very, very grateful, yeah, for that. Yeah, but eventually, maybe if you have nothing to say, and when somebody listens to you, you already feel good. Yeah, that is what the psychiatrists do. Yeah, they charge you money for listening to you. And yeah, it's the nature of their treatment. They let you talk and talk and talk, and then they listen and listen and listen, and eventually you solve the problem by yourself, and then they give you a bill. This is my bill. That is no, but they are trained medical professionals. They know how to direct the session. So it's great. Yeah, I'm actually trying to advocate, yeah, and I'm trying to teach myself as much as possible to practice more and more deep listening, yeah, and perhaps talk less. Unless you invite me to talk, then I talk now. Yeah. Now I find that I enjoy peace and quiet more than talking. So back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Chai. Once again, thank you so much for the very interesting, very educational and insightful Dharma talk, very inspirational as well. This morning, I think all of us have a lot of good take-home value on how to live a happier life through a mindful living. Thank you so much, Brother Chai.
Brother Chim, I'm lucky in that Brother Chuan has invited me to give talk on the June the 27th. June the 27th, I will continue, but in slightly different focus. In that, I will try and talk more about anxiety during the pandemic. Yeah, using the same principles, I will be more focused on building resilience on June the 27th.
Yeah, looking forward to that, Brother Sang Chai. With a lot more ideas after a very spiritually enlightening or spiritually enriching morning. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Brothers and sisters in the Dharma, this morning we have participated in this Sunday Buddha Puja service and listening to the Dharma. With the merits accrue, let us now share or dedicate this merits to all our departed relatives, families, friends, and all other sentient beings. Let us share this merits with all those who have also suffered due to this COVID-19 pandemic. May everyone be well, happy, and safe. Brothers and sisters in the Dharma, before we end this morning puja service, let us together pay homage to the Triple Gem. Before that, let us have the sharing the merits. Let's do together. Akasata cha pumata dewa naka mahitika punyatang anomutitwa chirang rakantu loka sasanang chirang rakantu te sanang chirang rakantu mang parang itawata cha amehi sampatang punya sampatang sabe dewa sabe satta sabe buddha anumotantu sapa sampati sitiya idang me punyang idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo idang me nyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo imang no punya pakang mata pitunancha acariyanancha sapa satanancha sapa mitanancha sapa nyatinancha sapa petanancha sapa dewatanancha pacema imang no punya pakang sapa satanang tema sape satta sukita hontu imina punya kamena mame pala sama kamo satang sama kamo hotu yawa nipana patiya idang me punyang asawakaya wahang hotu idang me punyang nibanasa pacayo hotu sadhu sadhu sadhu. There's about 3 times to pay homage to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Buddhang pujemi Dhammang pujemi Sanghang pujemi. Suki Hontu, we have come to the end of our online Sunday Puja service. Please visit us again next Sunday. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful always. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. To all devotees, thank you very much once again for participating. Please help us to thank the speaker, Brother Sang Chai, and also the organizing team we have come to the end of our 47th online Sunday Buddha Puja service. We'll continue with our Sunday Buddha Puja service next Sunday, 13th of June. You may join us earlier for the Voices of Blooms at 9:15 a.m. You may consider to watch it together with your family. Please refer to our SJBA Facebook for the information. With the COVID-19 pandemic, we hope everyone will continue to stay home, stay safe, stay well, stay happy, stay peaceful, stay wise. May all of you be well, happy, and peaceful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sape satta, bhavantu sukhi tatta. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Bahong sahan semabhinim mita sayudantang ngirimi kelang udita Sasena marang dana di dhamma vidina